Welcome back to Law and Crime. We were just seeing live testimony from the Robert Durst trial in California. But I want to talk about some breaking news that happened today. Bill Cosby is officially a free man. He was released today from Pennsylvania prison. Pennsylvania Supreme Court issued an opinion earlier today vacating his 2018 conviction on 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault. This comes after the defense argued that Cosby's due process rights and constitutional rights were violated both by the judge and the prosecution surrounding the trial. I want to bring in my guests tonight to discuss their thoughts about this breaking news with us for us here at Night Court. It's trial attorney Ann Bremner, along with law and crime legal analyst Dina Dahl. We're going to start with Dina. I'd love to know your take on this. Bill Cosby is a free man. What do you make of this?
You know, it's really interesting. So his defense attorneys alleged 2 different causes on appeal. The reason why his conviction was appealed was because of this issue. Evidently, the DA at the time announced that he was not going to charge Bill Cosby. And in order to induce Bill Cosby to testify in a civil lawsuit from the alleged victim at the time. The DA thought that there wasn't going to be enough to obtain a criminal conviction and wanted that victim to at least be able to obtain some sort of monetary compensation for the harm that was caused her. So Bill Cosby did indeed then testify, and that testimony was used in his trial. And that's what the Supreme Court said was a violation of his Fifth Amendment right to not testify. It was that specific issue that allowed his conviction to be overturned.
And Dina, what does this mean for the woman who accused Bill Cosby and ultimately whose allegations put him behind bars?
You know, it's obviously a very disappointing day for those women and for the Me Too movement in general, because this case was really the first conviction of somebody in the Me Too movement. And some could argue it helped lead the prosecution to charge Harvey Weinstein later because they saw that it was possible to get a conviction in these types of cases. So there is a sense of obviously disappointment. But I think it's important to note, too, that there was a second issue that the defense appealed, that they said that the fact that other accusers were brought into a trial, that also violated his constitutional rights. The judges never looked at that issue. They found it to be moot since they overturned it on the other issue, because that would have been very relevant to Harvey Weinstein, because we know with Harvey Weinstein, the same thing happened. Other accusers were introduced, although he wasn't actually formally charged with those other accusers. So that's a little bit interesting to note here, that the precedential kind of value of this being overturned, I think is very narrow. I don't think it's going to necessarily apply to the Harvey Weinstein case. It would have been if that second issue had been decided by the Supreme Court, but it was not.
Also interesting to note, Dina, just that the Supreme Court has said that Cosby cannot have a retrial. This is said and done in their minds and in their ruling. And Dina, why is the prosecution including the Morris Black trial in their case in relation to the real reason why everyone is there, the death of Susan Berman? Dina?
Oh, okay. Yes. Well, the reason why is because they're trying to show that there was a motive, and that he has these prior bad acts that kind of lend to his kind of maybe ability, his intent, to commit the murder. And that's fairly common in criminal cases if you have a situation as this. I mean, we know he's dismembered the body, and you can show that to help prove that he would be able to maybe commit murder against Susan Berman. So the judge allowed this evidence in a pre-trial motion, and they're doing that in order to show, motive and intent with this murder here that's on trial.
Thanks, Dina. We'll continue chatting more about that right after this break. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned for more coverage of the Robert Durst trial when we come back. Stay with us.